Will the LiQWYD challenge the rock drake as being the preferred glider mount on Aberration? I can assure you there are lots of reasons the rock drake will still be a very popular mount, and we still need to find out how Wildcard will be designing this new creature. That's right survivors, I'm GP bringing you the latest ARK news. Since the result of the creature vote came out, I've looked at all the feedback and seen a lot of people being concerned about how the introduction of this new creature to Aberration will impact the use of the rock drake, as both will be rideable gliders, one of the very few ways you can easily get around the map by air. The LiQWYD, meaning strange wing, is depicted as having razored quills that it can shoot at its victim, initially causing no damage but marking the creature, and the more quills inflicted on the victim, the more damage the LiQWYD can cause when it attacks. So in similar ways, being able to fire stuff from its own body at other creatures like the dinosaur and the thorny dragon. The LiQWYD can do even more with its quills, whereby if you use certain resources or consumables, it can coat the quills designed to inflict different effects on the target, such as using narcotics or biotoxin to act as a tranq dart, with many others using resources found naturally on Aberration. Now the gliding of course is what resembles the rock drake a lot and has got many concerned it will make the rock drake useless. But the rock drake still has a lot of uses, not to mention its ability to go invisible. It can climb walls, it's immune to radiation. Good luck trying to use the LiQWYD to go into the pink zone or even onto the surface. So I think in all honesty, the rock drake will still be a very popular tame on Aberration. So the LiQWYD's gliding is a lot more limited than a rock drake, with not being able to glide upwards to get to higher ground, and it loses height rather quickly. However, you can gain some altitude by doing a short wing flap, which is said to cost a huge amount of stamina. Now the LiQWYD can cling to walls where it can regain its stamina, but unlike the rock drake, it can't climb the walls to get to a higher vantage point. And one last different thing about the LiQWYD is you can't equip a weapon whilst mounted on the LiQWYD, unlike a rock drake. So all of these things, including not being immune to radiation, certainly keeps the rock drake as a preferred mount, at least in my eyes it does. It also keeps the rock drake as being a very useful tame for the Rockwell boss fight. The suggestion gives it a tech saddle that isn't actually used for shooting element, but instead giving it better maneuverability and a parry ability to protect itself from attacks. Now remember, not everything will necessarily be as it is written in the description. Wildcard may take some stuff, but not necessarily everything. Now for the suggested taming method, there's one very obvious issue here, and that is that it's said to require the use of the net projectile to trap it. You need to let the LiQWYD pelt you with its feathers, and as it plunges towards you, grab your harpoon gun and net it. Well, the issue here is that net projectiles aren't introduced until Genesis Part 2, and with the maps being released individually for Survival Ascended, that would make the LiQWYD untamable for many months. So I'm pretty sure that this taming method will be reworked a bit by Wildcard. The size of the LiQWYD is said to be slightly larger than a survivor. Of course, it will need to be fairly big to be rideable, but it looks like it won't be quite as big as a rock drake. The real prehistoric LiQWYD though was a very small creature, not even reaching the knee height of your average modern human. So once again, this will be a very small creature that's been blown up to a much larger proportion in ARK. And now we wait for the concept art and the dossier for this creature, which is likely to come in several weeks, and not to mention the next community creature vote for the centre. That's all the latest news, survivors. If you don't want to miss out on all the latest ARK news, make sure to subscribe.